What if I told you that even in 2026, when most SUVs have slowly turned into soft, comfort-focused city machines, there is still one vehicle that refuses to lose its true off-road identity? Something that doesn't just pretend to be tough in ads, but actually proves it when the road disappears completely. I'm talking about the all-new 2026 Nissan Terra, an SUV that stands tall in a segment where names like the Isuzu MU-X, Toyota Fortuner, and Ford Everest keep the competition intense. But the real question is this: does the Terra have what it takes to sit beside these legends, or is it just another refreshed face in a crowded market? By the end of this review, you'll have a clear answer. Let's start from the rear, because a real SUV always shows its character. From the back first. The 2026 Terra makes an immediate statement with a bold, upright design that feels wide, solid, and purposeful. The tail lights stretch across the rear in a clean, modern line, giving it a strong road presence, especially at night when everything lights up in one confident glow. The Terra lettering across the tailgate is not subtle at all. It's proud, loud, and unapologetic, and honestly, doesn't that already tell you what kind of vehicle this is trying to be? The rear bumper is thick and functional, clearly designed for real-world use rather than just showroom aesthetics. Whether it's camping gear, luggage for a long family trip, or muddy equipment after a weekend adventure, this SUV doesn't look like it would complain. Now compare that to something like the Ford Everest, which leans more toward a polished lifestyle image, or even the MU-X, which stays conservative and simple. The Terra sits somewhere in between, but with a slightly more rugged personality. So here's something to think about. When you imagine your ideal SUV, do you prefer something that looks refined and urban, or something that clearly says, "I can handle rough conditions"? Moving to the left side profile, this is where the Terra's true body-on-frame DNA becomes obvious. It stands tall with a strong, upright stance that immediately communicates durability. The wide wheel arches give it a muscular presence, and, depending on the variant, you get 18 to 20-inch alloy wheels that fill the stance properly. The design itself is clean, not overly complicated. Straight character lines, a high belt line, and just enough chrome to add a premium touch without making it feel flashy. It's not trying to chase attention with unnecessary styling tricks. Instead, it focuses on proportion and strength. And that's important, because this is not a crossover pretending to be an SUV. This is a proper ladder frame machine built for weight, pressure, and unpredictable terrain. Compared to the Toyota Fortuner, which has a more aggressive and sporty look, the Terra feels calmer, more mature, almost like it doesn't need to prove anything. And compared to the MU-X, it definitely feels more modern and slightly more tech-oriented in its visual identity. Now imagine this. Long highway journey, full family on board, luggage packed, and then suddenly the road turns into rough, uneven terrain. Would you feel confident continuing the journey without hesitation in something like this? Now let's move over to the right side. And here the design consistency really stands out. The Terra doesn't rely on sharp gimmicks or overstyled surfaces. Instead, it sticks to what matters most in a proper SUV: height, accessibility, and presence. The doors are large and upright, making entry and exit extremely easy for both front and rear passengers. That might sound simple, but in real daily use it makes a big difference, especially for families. Ground clearance is generous, reminding you again that this SUV is not built just for city roads. There's protective cladding along the lower body, which adds durability and gives confidence when driving through gravel, mud, or uneven rural roads. Park it next to a Fortuner, and you'll notice something interesting. The Fortuner feels more aggressive and performance-focused, while the Terra feels a bit more refined and balanced, almost like it's trying to merge toughness with comfort. So what would you choose if you had the option? A more aggressive traditional SUV, or something that blends modern comfort with real rugged capability? Now let's step inside, because this is where the 2026 Nissan Terra surprises a lot of people. The moment you open the door, the cabin feels spacious, calm, and thoughtfully designed. Nissan has clearly focused on comfort and usability here rather than unnecessary complexity. Right in front of the driver, there's a fully digital instrument cluster that looks clean, modern, and easy to read at a glance. In the center, a wide infotainment display acts as the main control hub for navigation, media, and vehicle settings. The system feels responsive and, importantly, not overcomplicated. You won't find yourself digging through endless menus just to adjust basic functions. Everything feels intuitive. The seats are wide and well-cushioned, designed for long journeys rather than short, sporty drives. And this is where the Terra really earns points. You can genuinely imagine spending hours on the highway without feeling fatigued. The second row offers excellent legroom and headroom, making it comfortable even for taller passengers. And yes, even the third row is actually usable, which is something many SUVs in this class still struggle with. Materials feel durable but still refined enough to give a modern feel. Compared to the MU-X, the Terra feels more connected and tech-friendly inside. Compared to the Fortuner, it leans more toward comfort rather than stiffness. So here's a real question. When you're spending this kind of money on an SUV, do you care more about luxury branding or actual everyday comfort that you can feel every single day? Now let's talk about performance, because this is where things get serious. The 2026 Nissan Terra is expected to continue with proven engine options depending on the market, including a 2.5-liter petrol and a 2.3-liter turbo diesel. But let's be honest, the diesel is the one most buyers will naturally gravitate toward. It produces around 190 to 200 horsepower and roughly 450 Nm of torque, which is the real strength here. Torque is what moves this vehicle confidently in real-world conditions. Whether you're climbing steep hills, carrying full passengers, or driving through muddy terrain, this engine setup delivers steady and reliable performance. You also get transmission options like a 7-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual, depending on variant and region. That flexibility matters, especially for drivers who still prefer full control. But the real highlight is not just the engine, it's what comes with it. This SUV features proper off-road hardware, part-time four-wheel drive, low-range gearing, and a locking differential. These are not gimmicks. These are serious tools for real off-road driving. On smooth roads, it behaves calmly and comfortably, but the moment you leave the tarmac, it transforms into a completely different machine. Now ask yourself this: when the road disappears completely, would you trust a soft crossover or something built specifically for situations like that? Let's talk pricing. The 2026 Terra is expected to arrive between late 2025 and early 2026, with pricing likely starting around $38,000 to $42,000, while higher trims could reach up to $50,000 or slightly above, depending on features and market. This places it directly against strong competitors like the Fortuner, MU-X, and Everest. And in terms of value, it becomes an interesting option because you're not just paying for a badge, you're paying for real capability combined with comfort and modern tech. So here's something worth thinking about. Would you pay extra just for a well-established badge, or choose a package that gives you more balance for the money? Now let's bring it all together. The 2026 Nissan Terra is not trying to reinvent the SUV formula. Instead, it's trying to preserve it. Strong body-on-frame construction, real off-road capability, reliable engine choices, and a comfortable interior that actually works for families. In a world where many SUVs are becoming softer and more crossover-like, the Terra stays grounded in its original purpose. Compared to the MU-X, it feels more modern inside. Compared to the Fortuner, it offers a smoother and more comfort-focused ride. And compared to the Everest, it finds a middle ground between ruggedness and technology. This is not an SUV made just for showrooms or city streets. It's built for people who actually use their vehicles for long trips, rough roads, and real adventures. Now I want to hear your opinion. Would you choose the Terra over the Fortuner or Everest? How important is real off-road ability for you in 2026, and do you think modern SUVs are becoming too soft and less capable than before? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this detailed breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to GMJ Drives, and stay connected for more real-world car reviews. This is GMJ Drives, where we don't just talk about cars, we experience them.